So now the influence of NEP on engineering education, particular to Karnataka I am talking about. So far what I talked about, it was what you call in general. NEP Karnataka has implemented very first state. We are proud of it. These are what you call some of the highlights which you all are aware of it. 3 internship instead of 1. So there is a mandatory ability. Let me highlight the things and cover it one by one. Through 3 internships, mandatory of ability enhancement courses, open electives covering sports, music and anything, biology for engineers in the 4th semester, 160 credits instead of 175. Students can earn another 18 to 20 credits in order to get the honors or the minor degree. I think recently AICTE has announced 2 minor degrees on its portal. So 50-50 for formative assessment and end semester examination. Okay. And finally, it talks about the blended form of learning to be encouraged. So these are the highlights of NEP which has been implemented by Government of Karnataka. So another same little more details. That is, we have in basic science courses, engineering science courses, humanity courses and ability one. Okay, instruction along with the lecturer, tutorial, practical. The one more added is this one, self-study component, and one more added is the e-learning. These components were not there earlier one, now it has given. So new methods of learning, as it is also trying to implement it. That is what we call it as a collaborative learning and problem-based learning. Okay, plus 100 activities to be carried out by the student. These are the new things which are becoming part of the NEP as a part of the I am referring to the VTU. Okay, we hope that these fosters students with analytical skills, developing thinking skills, evaluate, generalize and analyze information. This is what the new NEP talks about it. And even talks about revised Bloom's taxonomy. It talks about it. It want to highlight at least 3 hearts. That is a higher order thinking are to be implemented in the teaching and learning process. And digital learning is allowed. You can make use of YouTube, website, mobile, anything for the access of the material. Okay. So let me go to the the small syllabus which has been made for the first year. I think you are aware of it. I hope that anyone may be taking this particular subject. Anyone is handling this one for the first year, basic electronics and communication? For the VTU.
Many of teachers are in this session, sir. Many of teachers.
That's yes. I wanted to hear something from them. That's all. That's what I am. Yes.
So one session I attended for this subject, sir. It is conducted by Muddanhalli Research Center.
Right. Yes, sir. But my point is that what we used to talk it in now it has come in implementation point. Okay. So inside that when we started with the CBCSE and the implementation of outcome-based education, VTU clearly states on its syllabus. This particular syllabus is under outcome-based education system with CBCSE. It is clearly stating it. Now a stage has come, the implementation is there. I would like to take one example of that one. So we talked about multidisciplinary teaching and multidisciplinary teaching. I think right now not most of the colleges, it is mandatory to give you one open elective from each department. I hope that participants are aware of it. You are yes or no? I want little interaction with you so that things can be clarified.
Yes, sir.
See, writing on paper is easier one. So, but the question is how we are implementing. We are facing challenges there. So if we have a deliberation or we have a discussion, probably we may come out with the solutions. So what the VTU has made it, now VTU has made it compulsory to take one elective from out of the branch. Yes or no? I'm correct, no, Vishwanath sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is correct, sir.
Correct, sir.
Okay. Now, my point is here, nobody works under choice. Everybody works under compulsion. Okay. So earlier also there was lot of scope was there for interdisciplinary projects, but never they've been encouraged, never they've been thought of it. Having one guide from mechanical, one guide from computer, one guide from electronics, these things we thought it, we never implemented it. But now NEP making you to compulsory to implement it. This is what point I wanted to tell it. I hope that one it is. I hope that one you understood what is there in my mind. So
Yes,
NEP, CBCSE outcome based education talked about the developments in the education system, but NEP is making it compulsory for you to implement it. So right now in this particular teaching and learning process, they are talking about what you call higher order thinking, and they are talking about problem based learning processes, and they are even talking about what they call the real world examples. So these are the things, new things which are there by the NEP, by the what you call VTU to be implemented. So naturally, it's a challenge for all our teachers. Okay.
excuse me, sir.
Just yes, definitely it's a challenge. And
Yeah,
again in mechanical, because I deal with the mechanical, here I could see it here also what you call many things have been written here. Visit any conventional or renewable power plant preparing a comprehensive report. Student need to go to the plant and he has to prepare report. But in reality, things are altogether a different one. It's a quite a difficult one. So which we need a lot of resources to implement these what you call NEP. NEP, otherwise it will become only in the book. It cannot be implemented in reality. Okay. So even he talks about what they call laboratory demonstrations and practical experimentation, something like that. It means what everywhere they wanted to give. Even here is a demonstration of components of working of a domestic refrigerator and preparing a report on that. So very good suggestions by the what you call NEP, and promptly it has been what you call inculcated in the syllabus of the what you call VTU. But still I am skeptical. I am very much afraid that how many of us we are able to implement it. So this is what the NEP is making a big influence on our engineer education. And also we talked about what we call NBA or NAC. When we talk about it, I hope that one, these are the 12 things which earlier they used to be called as the attributes of an engineer. So right now, can anyone tell me what these 12 are referred as? So these are treated, these are referred as right now program outcomes. See, these are the program outcomes. It means what every engineer should have all these 12 qualities in it. So these are all what you call, they are all mapped with the what you call outcome. That is what we call it as the CO, POs of each subject. CO, POs of the each subject leads to the what you call CO, POs of each program. So this is how we are going to evaluate that how the outcome based education system is been implemented in order to get students industry ready. The NEP is, it means what I would like to say here is NEP is not doing, not bringing much change in engineering education. So already in engineering education, outcome based was implemented. CBCSE has been implemented. and accreditation system has been implemented. It means what? More than 50 to 60% already we have implemented the NEP in engineering college. Rather, I should say that adopted, not the implemented one. So we adopted the 50% of the NEP. I think there won't be much difficulty for us to implement other parts of the NEP into the engineering education system. So what we should do it? Promptly implement outcome-based education, blended learning, Bloom's taxonomy, and student-centric. But finally, I would like to, I can take another 5 to 10 minutes now. Vishwanath sir?
Yes, sir. Please continue, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So these are the areas. Again, if I explore it, it again going to be more, but just I show it because this one particular, I think blended learning means always we stick to the what we call it as a offline and online. Not only that one, apart from that, many other different blending things are there, which I would like to highlight here. Live classroom with computer mediated, lecturer with guided practice, games, case study, simulation. These also you can blend it and you can teach it. Individual instructor, group, social learning. These also you can call it as a blended learning. So what the blended learning happens? It targets to the what we call it as a HOTS, that is higher order thinking skills, because all lots, that is lower order thinking skills, we are going to give it to the students. The small video is there, I would like to share with you. I think I can able to share the voice also. I will try to do it. 1 second. Because I lost the controls, yes. Let me set share sound. Just I am 5 minutes away from concluding my webinar. Can you hear the sound?
No, sir, it's not able.
Okay.
Hearing, sir, hearing.
You can hear it because, okay, it's not an issue. If you're not hearing, it's not an issue. Just chalega. The last part you see, okay, talks about what they call making of a house. Simply by coloring, house cannot be made. There are so many things we have to do it. This is the part which I would like to tell.
Society to all kids to excel at high levels, and to make this happen, to engage our students like never before. This is student-centered learning. It incorporates the student's skills and interests into the learning process, making the experience more personalized and involving the student in his.
Okay, just I would like to look in from here. So this is what the earlier some student used to go as it is without gaining any knowledge. Right now we wanted to have everyone to excel. See, this is excel, this is get away. Just observe it, you will get an idea. See, some got excelled and some are getting out, getting as it is. But the implementation of student-centric method, what it ensures is this. It is bringing all the students at the similar level. So bringing that into the practicality itself is called as student-centric method. Okay, I hope that one I could able to give you a better idea about the student-centric method. So participants, you got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. The small idea what to do. So these are the principles of what they call roles of a faculty and students. Teachers do learning task less. Now we should do what they call do learning less. We should allow our learners to do more. What they have to do? Organizing the content, generating the example, asking the question, answering the question, summarizing the discussion, solving the problems, constructing the diagrams. So we shift it everything to the student. This is what the one of the principles of student-centric method say that involve in simple sentence, involve students in learning by asking them to do. Because all lower order thinking such as remembering and understanding, we shift it to the home of the student by supplying the material in online. When student come to me, he should be equipped with the what you call lots. The directly I will start discussing about the HOTS, that is the what you call higher order level thinking. So this is the what we talks about it. Teachers do learning task less. Students should do more tasks to learn. Second principle, teachers do less telling, students do more discovering. Okay. So what we call it is a spoon feeding. That should not happen. So we should give such tasks to the students so that they can discover and they can come back. These things we can do it. We can, I think, time is short. Some other time if opportunity comes, I will talk more detail about it. Even small thing we can do it. Because see that implementation of NEP is a tough one because of the digital world. So we can try to implement the things up to 10 to 20%. Because I am not having confidence that I am putting this percentage less. 10 to 20% of the part what has been taught in outcome-based education, what has been taught in student-centric method, what the NEP talks about it, slightly we can, definitely we can implement it if we totally shift it to the learning-centric method. Okay, let me give one example of discovering. See, 2 days back only I taught what you call power plants. Okay, now I asked my students to get a list of power plants in Karnataka, in India, all varieties. Now it's easy, no? Student can Google it out, they can bring it out. Is it not? So this is what second point I would like to highlight. Allow students to discover on themselves. Okay, so this is what the second point. The third point is teachers do more design work or activities, learning experiences. So along with this learning, now we have to add one more word, learning experience. So student gets something out of that one. Okay, effective assignments, activities which are designed to help students to increase learning skills, to motivate students to involvement and participation. So discover work that is related to the discipline, real world, develop content knowledge, learning skill and awareness. This we can do it by giving them a good assignment. Okay, you give them assignment and provide them the material also, then you try to get. It means what? So more activities are to be taken place. Faculty do more modeling. Now we have to find out so different ways how I can involve the students in teaching. How I involve the students in learning process. Okay, it may happen I may teach best, I may teach worst, but there is no yardstick to check it whether the students have learned it or not. So if you develop a model, so definitely it will reflect the learning process of the student. Faculty do more to get students learning from with each and other. That is what we call it as a collaborative and cooperative learning. Okay, that is in engineering when it comes to the mini project or when it comes to the final year project, when we talk about the internship, these are all the activities which are shifted towards the HOTS, that is higher order learning skills. But what I'm talking about, even during our normal course also, so we try to implement it. Okay. So finally, faculty work to create a climate for learning. So this is what we are able to do it. So we should create an environment where a student can learn fearlessly. He can learn diversified things and he can learn at his own pace. So own pace is not is given here, but definitely we can try our level best to what you call support the students by allowing them to learn at their own pace. What we assume right now, once 60 students have attended the classes, we assume that all 60 have what you call understood it. So slightly we have to shift it. It's a difficult one, I know it, but still, so we can attend the individual student and try to identify what are the shortcomings of his, try to help him at individual level. So definitely this will going to create an environment for the learning. What happened, one more point I would like to make it here before I go to the concluding slide. See, students have learned the art of passing. So they have learned the art of passing. They have their own methods of passing the things, because what has been evaluated is nothing to do with the learning. Our instructional methods, our teaching, learning, instructional methods should fully go hand in hand with the evaluation system. So then only we can create a environment there. So this is student centric to the RBT, OBE, finally NEP. So these are my concluding parts. Students, make it ready. There is no doubt about it. So these are things to be implemented. We need resources. AI/ML going to play important role in NEP. Faculty should create an environment for participative learning. Finally, main challenge is the implementation of it. So with this, I am going to conclude it. So unless we involve, without your involvement, you cannot succeed. With your involvement, you cannot fail. This is one slide every time I put it in my all webinars, because finally, involvement is the most important thing. Unless and until you make up your mind to do something, you cannot do it. So let's involve in implementation of the NEP. Thank you. With this, my webinar is concluding. Over to the Vishwanath sir.